Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show on wearehotline.net, and I want to introduce you to an above-average teen. Her name is Brittany Krystantos, and she's the author of I Am Not Your Average Teen. Please welcome Brittany to the show. How are you doing, Brittany?
Hi, thank you. I'm good, thank you.
Awesome. I'm so happy that you're on the line with us. You've got an amazing book that you put together. Colleagues of mine have read it and they're raving about it. And I just would love to know a little bit about, who you are and what led you to write the book. So give us a little bit about your background.
What led me to this book was when I was 14, I was going through depression, and I went out and I said I need help. So I found my mentor, and in my mentor's words at one point, at 15, after going through a journey of self-discovery, she told me, she said, grab a journal and get a pen. And that led me to this writing journey. And then that journey led me to writing this book because she reminded me that my story can really touch and inspire other teenagers out there.
Fantastic. So are you saying that there are other teenagers like yourself who are maybe feeling the same way, maybe feeling a little bit, what was it that led to your depression? Was it disconnection? Do you know what the association was?
Yeah, it was definitely disconnection. It was the fact that I couldn't love myself. I didn't know who I was. I was confused by the peer pressure of being a teenager, and I was confused about myself, and everywhere I went, I got no support or help, especially in my high school and in the society, and I did not love who I was, so I went on that journey of finding myself.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Did you have some people who helped you in your self-discovery? Some people, you mentioned a mentor. Were there other people around you that helped?
It was honestly more, not really. I didn't have a big tribe. I didn't have lots of friends. I started off on this journey with being the popular girl in high school in grade 9. Had all these different friends, and then that led me to being kind of the outcast, the girl who didn't have a lot of friends. So I didn't have a lot of support. I had just my mentor who always reminded me to keep going. You can do this. You're not alone.
And then how long did it take you to actually put this book together?
I started it when I was 15, so a year after I started this healing journey. And then I went off and on from writing to living to, exploring. And I finally finished it this year at 18 and published it on my 18th birthday. So it's been a wonderful
congratulations.
journey.
Yeah, I can just imagine. So in the span of 3 years, there's a lot of, like you said, self-discovery, a lot of recollection. And I find, because I'm also an author, that when you release your emotions on paper, there's such a transformation that takes place. How has the transformation happened for you after writing the book?
What happened for me now is a lot of these emotions are coming up. Emotions that remind me that I am good enough. And when I was a kid, something that happened was I didn't speak for 7 years because I had this, it's called selective mutism, and it basically means that I didn't speak to anyone except for the people I chose to speak to. So I spoke to my mom, I spoke to my dad, I spoke to a few people, but I was very selective of who I spoke to, right? So releasing this book is bringing a lot of healing to me right now because I have words out in the world, I have a story out in the world, and I sit back and I think, wow, I do have a voice, and everyone else does too, but that's what's transformed me right now, that I'm on this interview right now, I'm speaking my truth, and I'm
speaking to millions of people.
Yeah, like, wow. And when I have that voice I never knew I had. So that's the transformation, definitely.
Wow, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. And you know what? I think people go through certain situations. It appears as hardships in the beginning, but it turns around to be a blessing. And I think you're one of those people. You were chosen, to speak for people who may be feeling voiceless, And I think that's a really special position to have as such a bright and creative young mind as yours. So you have this book, and I'm sure from what I know already, the reaction has been fantastic. So where have you been, showing your book? Have you had a lot of book signings so far?
I've only had one book signing, but that I plan on having more for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
right now, yeah, it's just sharing this story and getting my message out there.
Okay. And what are the lessons that you want people to learn from your book? What are the top 2 lessons?
Top 2 lessons is, number 1, definitely understand that your voice is there and you can be anything you want in this world. And if you use that voice, you can honestly accomplish so much out there. And number 2 is never feel like you're not good enough, and to find that place in the world. The title of the book is called I'm Not Your Average Teen for a reason, because it's honestly amazing once you embrace the fact that you are different and nobody can take away of that.
No one can take your power away from you.
Yeah.
That's yours.
Exactly.
Okay. Beautiful. What do your friends think of you now?
That's a good question. I think about that a lot. I don't know. They might be hopefully proud, but they weren't there on this journey with me. They stepped back and I drifted away, and I just wasn't, I couldn't play that role anymore of the popular girl. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you? So now that you're stepped into your purpose and you're in a place of authenticity, you're so much happier. Because you sound radiant on the phone, and I haven't met you in person yet.
So much happier. I go to yoga. I have the friends who support me and uplift me, and even though I don't have a lot of friends, I don't have what I had in high school. I have a few, and that's what matters, and that's what I say in the book too. It's not about having a lot of people surrounding you. It's about having the few that will lift you up and make you positive and bring your energy up.
Yeah, for me, it's always been quality over quantity. So that's very important to know, and it's a really wonderful thing that you know that as a young person, because sometimes it takes people many years to figure that out. Well into their late 20s, 30s before they realize that. So you've learned a lot of great lessons at an early age.
Yeah, thank you.
So you should be very proud of yourself. Yeah, you have. Well, where can people find the book, Brittany?
They have 2 options. They can go on my website, which is Krystantos, Krystantos.com, or on Amazon. Okay.
Before we go, what advice would you give to a teenager who is thinking of writing a book right now, based on what you've learned?
Go and do it. Write your story. Write your chapter. And other authors are not the only writers out there. Every single one of us have a story, and it doesn't matter how good you are or what kind of writer you are. If you're good at grammar or anything, you have a story and you can write it, because each and every one of us have something that can really inspire anyone in this world. So do it and go after it.
Beautiful. Very wise words. Brittany, I just want to thank you very much for taking the time to chat with us. You're an inspiration to me, and I know the listeners are moved by your story. If you're just tuning in and listening to the interview with Brittany Krystantos, and you missed part of the conversation, you don't have to worry. We're going to be playing the interview throughout the month on wearehotline.net on the Nikki Clarke Show between 11 a.m. and noon. So, Brittany, again, we wish you the best of luck. We're going to be following your success, and thanks very much for stopping by on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.